Hello everyone. So I'm here in this parking lot right now and I'm making a quick video in honor of the new year on, it's a highway and a plane nearby. Things are never ideal. We must continue on anyway. It's a really effing loud plane and it just started flying by. Whatever. So the basic point of this video is the difference between experiences that we pursue and the experiences that we actually find meaningful and that we're happy that we had at the end of the day. So a good example of this is my own personal experience in high school, let's say, or middle school. It's interesting because this works at different stages of life. So when I was in middle school and high school, just kind of like combine them, I guess. No, I'll start with middle school as a distinct experience. So middle school, people were all trying to like hang out with each other or watch like the cool TV show. Like people were like cool because like they watched Friends or whatever in middle school. Like they'd seen more episodes of Family Guy. And I kind of ignored all that stuff. And I'd spend a lot of time biking, doing archery on a bike. I worked out a lot in middle school. And what I noticed is that when I got to high school, no one really cared what TV shows you'd watched, or they didn't care like how many times you hung out with people. They were like, oh, like you're in good shape. That's really cool. You've done archery on a bike. That's really cool. And people thought that I was really cool because I'd done all these other things that in middle school weren't cool. And it was like doing the not cool thing made me cool later on because that was what people actually cared about while they were pursuing the other thing. And I'll get to like other experiences. Wait, I gotta make sure the button, but get to other experiences because like I don't think you should always just not have fun in pursuit of meaning, because meaning and fun are related. But you get to high school and there's a little bit of another thing where like in high school I wrestled, I studied a lot, I spent a lot of time like working on my social skills, I spent a lot of time like working on my weaknesses. And people spend a lot of time partying and drinking and like playing video games and stuff. Like that was kind of what everyone did, is they played video games, they'd party, they'd drink, whatever. And those were like the experiences they'd pursue. Like people would be upset if they weren't invited to the party where they could drink, or they'd be upset if they couldn't play their video games or something. And they'd look at me wrestling and they'd be like, wow, it's such a bummer, man. You just wrestle all the time. You don't have any free time to do what you want. And at the time I was like, yeah, whatever, it sucks, but like I like wrestling, so it's worth it. But then after high school, it's interesting because then no one cares how many times you got drunk or whatever in high school, or like how like who your friends were in high school or whatever, because people aren't even friends with who they're friends with in high school. So it's like weird. It's like this illusion everyone was participating in just dissipates. And then there's the reality. It's like I wrestled. I was like, oh my God, I wish I wrestled. It's like, no, you didn't. Because I was there and you weren't wrestling. You had no interest in wrestling or doing anything hard when it was time to do the hard thing. And then after the fact, and you look at all the benefits I got from wrestling, then you're like, oh, I wish I did. Like, you didn't. Like, you were lazy. And then in retrospect, you wish you did that. But at the time, you weren't even trying to get on the wrestling team. You could just join the wrestling team. It's not hard to get on the wrestling team. But they weren't motivated to do that at the time. They were motivated to do other things, but it turns out those other things weren't the things that they actually found meaningful. So I'm now in my 20s, I'm 24 now, and I'm kind of looking around, I'm doing the same thing. So I'm trying to start my business, I'm married, I got kids, like, it's like they're like, what are you married having kids for? Like, aren't you like, you can't party, you can't go bar hopping, you can't do all these fun things. You can't like go travel to Bali. You can't go to Miami for the weekend. And like, it's like, oh, it looks like I'm losing because I'm not going to Miami, because I'm not like partying all the time. So I can't get drunk every day because like I have to spend all my free time doing responsibilities instead of like I don't have free time. Like I'm 24, I don't have free time. I haven't had free time since I was 21. Like I wake up in the morning and I start cleaning the house and taking care of my kids. I mean, the kids wake me up. And then I pull away from that after eating a little bit of food and I go work all day, either cleaning, like working, trying to make money, whatever. And then I come home and I start cleaning stuff up again. I try to get the kids to bed and eat food. I work out a little bit and I go for a walk with the kids and the family. And then I put the kids to bed and then I have like an hour or two with my wife where we talk about our life. and then I go to bed, and then I wake up and I do it all over again. Like, I don't have free time. There's no like free time. It's just all the time is just family. Like, once you have a family, you don't have free time anymore, because any additional time you have, you're either like taking care of your health, you're giving it to your family who needs infinite time and attention. I do think you need, like, I still try to spend time with some friends sometimes, stay in contact with people, because it's like, it's necessary for me to maintain my own mental health. Because if I lose my mind and completely don't take care of myself, then I won't be able to take care of my family. So, but it's like why would anyone voluntarily do this? Like, why would a sane, healthy, attractive, motivated, energetic young man in his early 20s voluntarily decide to give up all of his free time for the rest of his life to raise children so everyone that he knows can tell him he's an idiot who had kids too early, and I can be broke all the time because I don't have any money because all my money goes to my kids and my family? Like, why would I do that? What's the, like, am I losing? And no, I don't think I am. This is the dichotomy of the experiences people pursue versus the experiences that are actually meaningful and they're actually glad they had. So right now, I'm like, and there's some days I'm walking around, I just look like this, because I'm just so fucking tired. But like, the benefit of this is that when I'm 30, 35, whatever, I'm going to have my beautiful children who are going to be teenagers, who are going to love me, they're going to be helping me with my company is going to be up and running. So I'm going to have a company that's going to make me millions of dollars and be fucking rich as fuck. I will be. And make millions of dollars. My kids are going to be working for me in that company. I'm going to homeschool them, so I'm going to actually know some stuff. I'm going to be brainwashed. And they're going to work for me in the company. I'm going to educate them. They're going to be cool to hang out with. Could do jujitsu with my kids. Going to have more kids by that point in time. Do jujitsu with them. My beautiful wife. We have this great relationship. All these people who, I spent the last 10 years giving myself liver disease and having sex with people that don't remember me. Like, so this is, again, it's like the experience, like, I'm gonna be like 35 and people are gonna be like, wow, man, you got a loving wife who like admires you and loves you, and like, you guys have hot sex all the time, and like, got beautiful kids and a business and you're in really good shape. You know, man, you're so lucky. I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done that. That's what everyone's gonna tell me. I'll be like, I wish I'd done that. And the thing is, they could have just done it. You could have just married someone and impregnated them and then just suffered for years while everyone thought you were crazy and you tried to figure out what you were doing to like get your life together. You could have done it. You could have, but you didn't. And because you didn't do it and you spent all of your time doing dumb things like just traveling. I mean, traveling's not dumb, but I mean, like, you have to sit down and realistically, like, okay, like, how many of the people I'm hanging out with are gonna like actually be my good close friends when I have children when I'm in my 40s and 30s? Right now, everyone I'm friends with, like, all my friends disappeared when I had kids, because it's just like, oh my god, we're not really your friends. We just like to be friends with you when it's convenient. Now that it's no longer convenient, they all disappeared. So now I don't have to deal with any people who are gonna disappear on me when I have kids, because they already vanished. And then oh yeah. So I don't have to deal with that. And then I'm also going to be better at having kids in a family than everyone else. So by the time people I know who are my friends now start having kids, I'm going to be the guy they all come to for help, because I already did it. I already did the suffering, so I can help you. So now I'm just going to be the center point of this little base, I mean, like, just my own little social group of people who live the way I think people should live. And everyone's gonna be like, man, I wish I'd done that. And it's like, no, you didn't. Because the reason my life's gonna be awesome is because I voluntarily undergo suffering. And I voluntarily put myself in situations where I don't know what the heck's gonna happen. I just know that I'm gonna suffer, and by suffering and persevering and paying attention, I'll figure it out. And then once I figure it out, everyone's like, oh my god, how did you figure it out? It's like, I figured it out because I just did it, and I didn't give up, and I just kept on doing it. And that, like, those hard things that everyone avoids, like, everyone avoids trying to, like, get in better shape or fix their health problems. Like, everyone's like, oh my god, I don't want to walk farther. I'm going to drive more so I don't have to walk because walking's uncomfortable and stinks. But then they're upset that they're fat. And it's like, but hang on, you just spent your effort avoiding the thing that would have taken you out of the situation that sucks. And then it's like people like, oh my God, I'm avoiding pregnancy, just avoiding pregnancy. I'm literally engaging in this act, and every pump is bringing me closer to an outcome I don't want, but I'm avoiding pregnancy. And then they're like, wow, why don't I have a loving family? Like, it's just so fucking stupid. And then it's like all the people like, oh my God, like I gotta go to the bars, and I gotta like do the dumb, non-productive things with the people who don't care about my future. Oh my God, why am I all alone in the next stage of my life? And it's because you didn't invest in people who are going to be with you at the next stage of your life. I have friends who I was friends with in high school, a few, very few, like 3, but they're my friends because they wrestled with me. And yeah, and it's just like, I mean, the people at this stage of life who like are flaking away, they're gonna come back when I'm 30 and they're gonna be like, hey man, weren't we great friends in the past? And I'm gonna be like, no, where were you? And that's just the thing. It's like, yeah, like, I don't know, like people gotta like understand that what they're investing in at the stage of life they're in is not going to necessarily be the thing that's going to give them meaning at the next stage of their life. And like, if you don't see that, you end up being these people that I see all the time who they spend all their time working on things like it's like the kid who like has like, I don't know, it's like the kid in elementary school who's got the best Pokemon cards, and it's like, that's not nothing, okay? Like, you got on top of the trend, you got your fucking Lucario level X or whatever, and that's not nothing. Like, it's cool. In elementary school, it's very cool. Like, you got the coolest Pokemon cards, man. Like, good for you. But if you put too much effort into having cool Pokemon cards, and then it comes to middle school, and, like, you don't have a social circle, that's what everyone cares about middle school. It's like, who are you hanging out with? Who do you watch Friends with? Who do you watch reruns of that 70s show with? Like, that's what everyone cares about middle school. So then, like, in middle school, like, it doesn't, so then, like, you go on to, like, high school, and then everyone, like, I remember, like, everyone in middle school is the darndest thing. Everyone's like, in high school, we got to high school, everyone's like, literally, they would say this verbatim. They would say, we're all going to pretend middle school never happened, right? And I'm like, what? I mean, I'm glad, because, like, middle school stunk for me, so I'm glad we're all going to pretend that never happened. But, like, you just invested in this reality that doesn't exist anymore. And now we're in high school, and now what matters is, like, how good are you at sports? Kind of, but I mean, like, in high school, it was, like, still a lot of, like, socializing, and, like, it was, like, parties. Like, that was, like, the big thing in high school, was, like, parties. Like, you got the hook up to the party. I'm, like, again, I'm not saying that's nothing. Like, if you have a good social circle in high school, and you know how to be popular in high school, that's cool, and you can definitely translate that into being popular in other areas of life if you know how to make friends. But then here's the other thing too. I didn't have that many friends in middle school. So when I came to high school, I was like, okay, I gotta like figure out how to make friends. So I would just go to downtown Newburyport and just talk to people I didn't know. And I found out how to make friends with people who I don't know. In high school, all these people were more popular than me, and they're all like, we all got our friend circles and whatever. And cool for them, but like, I mean, seriously, I was super jealous, like cool for them. But like, at the end of the day, I actually know how to make friends, and they don't. So now I run into them again, and it's like my life's just cooler. And it's because I developed a skill set of learning how to make friends, whereas they just kind of had, I guess they just had stuff in common with these people, so they just kind of built connections off the stuff they naturally had in common. And that allowed them to have like a cool social circle. And it's like, that was cool in high school, and me having to go meet people because I didn't know anyone wasn't cool in high school. But because I had to do that in college, I had way more friends. Later on, now in like 24, I have like more cool friends. I can just go meet people. Like, it's not that big of a deal for me to like make friends. I just go places and talk to people, and I just make friends. Like, it's really easy because I've done it so many times. So it's like, you gotta focus not on what, like, it's actually like, I believe there's a conspiracy going on where everyone collectively at every stage of life decides to focus on stuff that doesn't matter. Because if you focused on the things that would actually matter, it would be too painful. And we'd have to act, like, and people don't want to do that. So like, what does everyone do? At least like what I've kind of noticed, and like I'm 24, but I'm married and I have kids, and I have a business. So like I interact with more older business owners. Just most of the people I talk to are in their 30s and 40s and 50s. So I see what people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s judge themselves off of. And what they judge themselves off of is like what kind of car you drive, what kind of clothes you have, all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing though, this is the thing. I again look at in your 60s and 70s, what do people judge themselves off of? And it changes. In their 30s, 40s, and 50s, people judge themselves off of how much monetary success they have. That's the main thing, and that's not nothing. But by your 60s and 70s and 80s, you're in a, like, I mean, when you're in a nursing home, no one cares what kind of car you drove before you were senile. Okay, first of all, when you're in a nursing home, the real currency is like, can you still walk? So when everyone's sacrificing their health through the 30 through 60 to get money, it's stupid, because once you're 60, all you care about is walking. Like, this is the other thing. Here's the other thing. So a fun fact people don't think about, and I'm going to talk a little bit from not experience because I haven't reached this stage of life yet, but this is something everyone should be aware of. So in what's the most expensive thing you'll ever buy? Let's say, I'm just going to ask you this question. What's the most expensive thing you'll ever buy? I'm going to tell you, it's your health. Your health is the most expensive thing you'll ever buy. The most amount of money people spend in their entire life is in the last third of their life, 50 to 80, 60 to 90, on health. That's it. It's medical bills in the last third of your life. That's the most money you'll ever spend. So what does everyone do? 30 through 60, we got to sacrifice our health for money, guys. Like, I've actually had close family members tell me, and I love them to death, and they're not even coming from a bad place. They're just brainwashed, delusional, and probably have lots of toxicity, so their brains don't work. But I've had family members actually tell me, Devin, you should sacrifice your health for money. They've told me that. As someone who spent most of his life dying, they've told me to sacrifice my health for money. I don't think they realize they're doing that because it's so ingrained in the culture. But it's insane. It's insanity. And I won't do it. I literally won't do it. I look at these, I'm like, I will not be you. I will not make your decisions. You messed up. You made the wrong choices. I'm not doing it. And because like I look at these people, like people who can't even walk, telling me that I should go be them. People have like nearly died numerous times telling me I should go be them. People like, it's just, they don't have any idea what they're talking about because it's so ingrained in the culture, but people tell you that. They'll tell you like, yeah, just sacrifice your health for money. And they negate the fact like everyone's dying. It's insanity. Like people will sacrifice their health for a BMW and then shit themselves to death in a wheelchair. It's nuts. It's really nuts. And I'm not going to participate in that. But I mean, again, like the theme of the video is like what you're focusing on in this stage of your life is not going to be what matters in the next stage of your life. So you want to focus on what's going to matter in the next stage of your life. What people care about in their like 60 through 80, let's say, is they care about their relationships with their family. They want to have good relationships with their family because everyone in all these nursing homes, they're all alone. Like no one visits them. They're just alone and dying. And like everyone ignores this though. Like we ignore this in the culture. Like you sit there when you're working all the time and you're like, this is the right thing to do. And you're ignoring the fact that the majority of people die alone in a nursing home, shitting themselves to death, unable to walk. Like really, like, I mean, really, like go watch people dying because that's gonna be you. See them, see their misery, and I mean, just maybe avoid the particular flavor of misery they're suffering from that you want to avoid. Because if you don't, it will be you. Like there isn't another way around it. It's not like if you do the thing everyone's doing, you somehow get a different outcome. You just get the same outcome. But everyone ignores that because by ignoring that, you can continue, like you can basically participate in the culture. I mean, it's really hard to participate in the culture if you're not actively ignoring all the problems that people actively create for themselves on a constant basis. Like for instance, people will just like, they just drop their kids off at daycare when their kids are screaming and whatever, and like just neglecting their children. I mean, it's neglecting your children. You ask daycare workers, the daycare workers who work at the daycare will tell you that you're neglecting their children. Like their livelihood depends on you neglecting their children, and they'll still tell you that you're neglecting your children. Like, really, like, the cognitive dissonance in society is insane. And then if you tell anyone, they're like, you're crazy. You're judging people. People need to have a BMW. Like, how dare you judge those two parents for neglecting their children so they can have more money? Like, don't you realize that when you're dying in a nursing home, you're going to be sad you didn't have more money? And that, like, when your kids don't visit you, you can, like, check the time on your Rolex to see how many days it's been since anyone cared if you lived or died. I just talk extremely because no one talks this way, and like it's necessary to just kind of wake people up out of the mental funk that they're all in with not acknowledging any of these things. But yeah, so the video just cut out for a second. But yeah, so basically it's necessary to be a little extreme because people are just in this state of cognitive dissonance. They don't realize this stuff. So let's say like when you're in elementary school, everyone cares like who has the coolest sneakers. And then there are some people who have cognitive issues or undiagnosed autism who never stop caring who has the coolest sneakers. But enough about that. So then there, after like middle school, it's like, who do you watch that 70s show with? Then in high school, it's like, what parties you going to? And then like, in like your 20s, it's like who goes to the fanciest nightclub in different parts of the world? That's what everyone wants to do, is like go to nightclubs in other parts of the world and like fornicate with a lot of people who don't give a crap about them. And that's the big thing in your 20s, is that. And then like if you don't want to fornicate, I mean like literally like it's just crazy. Like I've just like lost most of my friends because I'm not living a degenerate lifestyle. Not even because they don't like me anymore. Like they still like me. They're just too busy banging random harlots. Like everyone I know, like everyone, 99% of the people I know who are my age are just drinking and banging harlots. And then the women are just drinking and banging the dude. Like, that's all it is. And it's like, I mean, everyone has their own narrative about why that's like, whatever. And like, okay, there are people who are my age who aren't doing that. Like, there are some people who aren't doing that. But like, again, it's still this like, weird, like, okay, there are like, because there are people who my age who aren't doing that. Like, there are some people, especially you get like into your older 20s and stuff, there are people who are like, I don't know, working on their education or whatever. But like, again, I mean, this kind of plays into my thoughts. So that's good. Like working on your education, building a business, whatever. I mean, the people like who's seeking long-term relationships in their 20s, they're doing the right thing. Good for them. Like, it's not everyone. It's just not most of the people I know. But like, the thing is though, like, let's say I'll make another video about like the way society doesn't really support people having kids at a young age. Like the way that like everyone you know will both act like you're an insane person for having kids and then not do a single dang thing to help you at all, even a little bit. Like even if you move to another state to like be close to your extended family, they'll just have cognitive dissonance about like why they can't drive 20 minutes to see you, even though you move to another state to like be close to them. And it's not even like, maybe my extended family is just weird, but like, it's not even them, I don't think. It's like the culture. It's like the culture is so anti-family that like you can literally like drive to another state to be close to your family. And they just assume that they shouldn't go drive to see you or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah. I don't know though, but basically there's this dichotomy. So like everyone in their 20s though, like they're still like, for the most part, like people in your 20s, like you should be building a family. That's what like your 20s are for, because like you, even I don't have as much energy as I should. I still have more energy than I will when I'm 30. So like, build a family in your 20s, because everyone in their 20s is kind of like they're trying to get themselves set up financially, which is still really good. But it's like by the time you're 30, the main thing you're going to be trying to do is like set up your family. And then because you didn't set up your family in your 20s and you have to set up your family in your 30s, it's going to be harder, because you have to, like, you spent your whole 20s figuring out how to make money. But now the way you live your life, which is part and parcel with the way you make money, has to change, because now you have people depending on you. So you have to change everything you do, Because if you don't change everything you do, then they die because oh no, you just put them in daycare with the extra money you made from your 20s, and then you just deny that you're abusing your children. I forgot, my bad. And then you got to send them to elementary school so they can chop their penises off, whatever. I'm not going on about that right now, because that's whatever. It's the transgender thing. That's a different thing. The world's weird for a variety of reasons. We all get it. But yeah, no, we focus on different experiences at different stages in our life, and those experiences you have to make sure that they're the experience that's going to make you happy. So like, really, where everyone wants to be at the end of their life in their 70s and 80s, you want to be able to walk, jump around, bouncy. You want to be able to fuck. You want to be able to like have sex. Not just have sex. You want to be able to like fuck. Like, you want to be able to like have energy. You want to be able to walk. You want to have like your family around you who loves you and loves spending time with you. You want your brain to work. You want to be healthy. You want to feel good in your body. And that's about it. I mean, I think it's what most people want in their 70s and 80s. And you got to look, like, what do people invest their time into? It's like, you need money for that to happen, but not even that much money. Because if you invest in your kids, then your kids can make money and they can take care of you, so then you don't end up in the nursing home. Because if you have, like, you look at things in a dichotomy, like, okay, let's say I had all the money, but none of the family. Well, then I'm in a rich nursing home alone. Okay. It doesn't help me at all. But if you have all the family but none of the money, people will just take care of you. So it's still better. But I mean, you still need some money, because like, if you have all the family and none of the money, your family will starve to death while you're raising them. So it's still necessary to make money. But if you think about it, most of what you invest your time into in your life, based on what people actually want at the end of their life, is most of your time should be family and health. That's most of what you should focus on. And that kind of makes sense. Like, the three core desires people have, I guess, like health, wealth, relationships, and then I guess higher purpose. And higher purpose is, I guess, tying health, wealth, and relationships together in a way that like fits in a fun way where you don't like hate your existence. So it's health, wealth, relationships, higher purpose. So but really, health and wealth are health and relationships are most of it, and wealth is sort of just how you keep yourself alive so you can have health and relationships. So most of our energy should be spent on health and relationships, but when you look at it on an hour-to-hour basis, what we spend most of our time doing, it's pretty much just wealth and the internet. And the reason for that is because we don't have health. So our brains don't work, so we spend too much time on the internet because it just takes less energy. And the main indicator that your brain's not working is low energy, because your brain's the most sensitive organ in your body. So if your body's not healthy, your brain's going to be the organ that feels it the most. And yeah, so that's a really good way of thinking about it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't like have fun in your 20s and stuff. Like, when I'm saying like people just spending all the time having sex, I'm not knocking sex. I'm just saying it's like, from a pragmatic standpoint, it's a bad investment, because you're ultimately having sex with people. Like, okay, so let's put it this way. Like, I've fornicated before, and you people have probably fornicated too. And when you fornicate with someone, there's a few possibilities. One is you really like it. You're like, wow, this was great. In that case, you want to keep doing it. Possibility two is you didn't really like it. You're like, oh, this was good. I don't really want to do it again. The other possibility is you're like, I guess it's something. So if it's something, it's like you're going to look for something better. If it's really amazing, you're going to be like, wow, I want more of this. And if it's bad, you're not going to want it. So in two of the possibilities, you're still looking for something better. And the possibility where it's actually really good, you just want more of that thing. So in reality, like, you're really just looking for a committed relationship where you can just have sex with the same person again and again. And people, at least before they become very psychologically damaged, are all looking for that. And then after a good deal of psychological damage, people started seeing like, well, everyone's going to betray me in the end, so I'm just going to decide I don't really want a relationship. So I'm going to become polyamorous, or I'm going to sleep around, whatever. It's all nonsense, and they're rationalizing. Neurobiologically, people are all wired to be monogamous. Maybe you have like one person in 1,000 who's just a weird abnormality, who's like genuinely just, I don't know, some brain personality defect or whatever, and they're like genuinely just, they can't be monogamous. Like 1 in 1,000 maybe, because of personality variance or something. Like, but it's like how, like, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to get too into it, but basically, without trying to justify it too much, because that's just a different video, like, people who are like, all the people who are like, I'm not naturally monogamous, like, they're all full of it. You can basically just assume they're all full of it and you'll be right. So people want monogamous relationships. Like, they just do. Like, I mean, you only have one penis. Like, you only have one vagina. Like, you can't, like, I guess, I mean, but, you know, like, in some sense, like, we are made one man for one woman, and, like, I don't want to, like, get too into, like, debating the nature of people's deep desires. I think the video is kind of, like, coming to a good close, actually. So this is a good close to the video. Yeah, think about it. Like, okay, so I'll wrap up the thing with, like, sleeping with people, though, quickly. It's like, most people, like, let's just say, like, I'm not going to argue with you. Let's say most people just want one person to just have hot sex with for the rest of their life. So just find that person, and then you just have a lot of sex together, and the sex gets really good over time. Because, I mean, like, most of having really great sex is just being good at having sex with that person and being in good shape and, like, knowing what you like and just kind of, like, being open-minded. Like, just good sex is basically just being uninhibited plus really liking the person plus being in good shape equals really good sex. So, yeah, and then, like, I don't know. So, just think about it, though. Think about, like, is what I'm spending the hours of my life and minutes of my life doing and focusing on actually moving me towards where I ultimately want to be? Like, if you're spending all your time on Tinder dating people you won't get married to, and you want to be married, maybe do something that'll help you get married. In the same way, like, if you want to be able to walk when you're 60, like, do things that'll help you walk when you're 60. If you want to have money in your 30s, do things that'll help you have money in your 30s rather than partying in your 20s. If you want to have people respect and admire you in your 20s, like you're in high school, do hard things in high school, like wrestle, study things that you're not taking classes in, like just learn and do hard stuff, because that's what people admire in your 20s. It's not how many parties you went to. Like, no one cares. The people who went to the most parties are fat with liver disease. The cool people in your 20s, I mean, you still have to be socially good. Like, if you're just a weirdo who stands in the corner and doesn't talk to anyone, you're not going to be popular in your 20s or anywhere. But provided you know how to walk up to someone and say hi, invest in doing hard things, because that's what's going to make you interesting, cool, and make your life awesome, and you're going to wish you did that anyway. So, I'm going to wrap this video up. Done. Talk to you next time.